while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and your honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes, but it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's in the top. She's on the honor roll. She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way. My kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Wheelchairs for Warriors serves those who served us. We provide custom-fit wheelchairs for veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. When they are denied the services they deserve, we stand in the gap. To join the mission and support America's heroes, you can visit our website at wheelchairsforwarriors.org. We are a 501c3 organization and part of the combined federal campaign. Visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Joe Fortenbaugh, frenemy of unsportsmanlike.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Welcome in. We're back. We're live. We're brand new. It's Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond. Welcome into the program on a Wednesday morning. Safe travels, and I mean safe travels into work and school. If you're going, I believe we got some places that have half days today, others no school. So school's winding up for the year all across the Tennessee Valley. So safe travels anywhere you may be headed. Thoughts and prayers to everybody involved last night around the Tennessee Valley with the storms. I know several people affected, several people affected around North Alabama listening to the show this morning. So our thoughts and prayers are with you. Small part, we have been without power since about 6:45 last night. So have not had power at the house, but we're able to make it. We're doing fine. Everybody is okay. So that is the most important thing. 256-576-4977. If you want to join the program this morning, feel free to do so. We got a lot of stuff to touch on here in just 2 hours. Most notably, the SEC baseball tournament. Yes, We say it all the time. Mother Nature is undefeated. And yesterday, they did okay in Hoover. They got 3 games in. They got the Alabama-Missouri game in. They got the Oklahoma-Kentucky game in. They got the Florida-South Carolina game in. Alabama over Missouri 4-1. We'll talk about that in a minute. Oklahoma over Kentucky 5-1. Florida over South Carolina 11-3. So those 3 advanced to the second round. The Texas A&M Mississippi State game was postponed. So they will pick that one back up this morning at 9:30. Now that meant Alabama and Tennessee were supposed to play this morning at 9:30. They will not play at 9:30. They will play at approximately 1 o'clock. We say approximately because the Texas A&M Mississippi State game may go long. We don't know. And so it could be a little difficult. So what does that mean, though, for the Auburn Tigers? They were supposed to play the last game of the day. They still will play the last game of the day today. They still have to await the winner of Texas A&M Mississippi State. Their estimated start time is 11 p.m. tonight. Is when Auburn will either take on Texas A&M or Mississippi State. It is going to be a late night for the Auburn Tigers on the baseball diamond. So your rundown does look like this for today. Texas A&M, Mississippi State at 9:30. Then Alabama, Tennessee, approximately 1 o'clock. Then Oklahoma and Georgia will follow, slated for 4:30, give or take. And then you have 7th seed Ole Miss taking on 10th seed Florida, slated for 8 o'clock, give or take. And then you have Auburn taking on the winner of Texas A&M Mississippi State to close the night. That will be your games today. As for yesterday, Alabama opens up with Missouri. And if you're Alabama, you did not want to get tripped up by the Tigers. Good news, they didn't. And even better news, Tyler Fay was on the mound to start the game for the Tide, and he helps them to a 4-1 win over Missouri. Alabama now 41-16 overall. Fay, by the way, picked up his first win of 2025. The redshirt sophomore, career high, 6 innings. Matched his career best strikeout total with 6. His lone blemish, a solo home run in the 3rd. That's all right. As for Alabama, some post-game stuff. They proved a 20-19 all-time in the opening round play of the SEC tournament. Justin LeBron had an RBI single in the 4th, his 70th RBI of the season, the most by a shortstop in a single season in program history. That surpassed the previous record of 69 by Josh Rutledge in 2010. He also matched a career high with 3 walks, 3rd time in his career and the 2nd occasion this season that LeBron has had 3 walks. He also extended his hitting streak to 6 consecutive games. Cade Snell increased his team leading hit total to 75. He also reached base for the 50th time out of 55 games. Alabama now turns its attention to Tennessee. We'll preview that one here in a little bit. After the game, Rob Vaughn talked a little bit about his team and the performance yesterday against Missouri. Here is the coach talking about, as soon as it wants to connect for me, we will get to it here in a second. There we go. Here is Rob Vaughn.
I thought, looking at their weekend last weekend, obviously you saw some tough scores for them, but you also see Horn and Libbert not throw, so you knew what Tuesday was going to look like when you got here. And they were as advertised. Man, they put you on for free a little bit. But, man, there wasn't a lot to hit, especially with Horn, man. It was 98 at the bottom of the zone, good breaking balls. They threw the ball well. They had some tough at-bats. They just couldn't quite get the big hit. And the big reason for it's this big man right here. I thought Tyler Fay was absolutely outstanding today. That was the story of the day because we didn't have a lot going off Horn. Bronny gets a huge two out hit to get us on the board. Cade follows it up with another one, but you don't get that unless you have Tyler Fay do what he did right there, which is go out and just pound the strike zone, execute pitches on short rest, and just what an unbelievable year he's had up to this point. Started in the pen, was kind of moved into the rotation on short rest at LSU and turned in an unbelievable starter. And every time he touches the baseball, he gives us a chance to win. And I know our team is very comfortable playing behind him. Man, he just keeps getting better. He's a competitor. He's tough. He's all those things that you look for out of a starting pitcher. So really proud of how he executed today. Proud of how we kind of grinded that game out. And man, this is a game of attrition. You're fighting to get to the next day, and we got Tennessee tomorrow morning. So we'll get rested up and get ready to go for a good one tomorrow.
Let's go out to the phone lines real fast. Mark from Spring Hill is with us. Good morning, Mark.
Morning, Mark. Hey, morning, guys. Something I know that you guys don't talk a lot about, and I understand, but the Birmingham Stallions. I've got to go to a few games this year. I normally go to more than I have. Just a comment I want to make on them is the attendance there has dropped by probably half from last year. And last year they did pretty good, averaged around 20,000. They averaged around 10 this year. But I know that league doesn't care because it's all about TV ratings and all that. But my question is, they've had 4 quarterbacks that have gone down, and they're playing a guy that's not going to get them the championship, although they do play Saturday for a chance to play for the title or for the 4th straight title. A.J. McCarron is available. And, again, I mean, slow time of the year. Your thoughts on, AJ is available, and I understand they're not going after the guy. I mean, I think you bring AJ McCarron in, and you're going to see probably 10,000, 15,000 more people just because AJ McCarron on Saturday or Sunday, excuse me. What are your thoughts on that? And I'll hang up and listen.
He had an acrimonious
departure from St. Louis.
From St. Louis. I did inquire earlier this year because Max Duggan is the quarterback that he was the QB for TCU/Wofford that lost the national championship 105-2 or whatever the hell it was. I think it was 65-7 or something. But he's the quarterback right now. AJ is not. He was the quarterback the last 2 years. Had a heck of a run those 2 years. And I wondered, because he's doing, the Siskey and McCready podcast. He's done media stuff. He's going to start a podcast with Trent Richardson and Chris Stewart this fall. I wondered if he was retired, but I was told he's not. He still would like to play. He'd really like to hook on with an NFL team, even as a backup again, and because, of course, those pensions and everything, and get another shot. I know he got a little cup of coffee with Cincinnati last year, at least I believe early on. But right now I think he's just waiting for an opportunity. And I think it certainly would sell tickets if the Birmingham Stallions made that move. I'll be quite honest. It was probably more an issue of the XFL and really they've always been the USFL and now the UFL draft. I would have thought he would have been with the Stallions to begin with. Due to trying to sell tickets. But yeah, I mean, if I think Matt Corral has been their quarterback, but I'll be honest, I have seen maybe in 3 years 15 snaps of Birmingham Stallions football. So I could, to be honest with you, I haven't followed it all. I know they won the championship the last 2 years in the USFL and then the UFL. But again, I'm just it's not something I've monitored, but certainly I think it would help sell tickets. No question about that. And AJ, from what I understand, still wants to play.
Right. I knew the season was going on. Really haven't paid a lot of attention to it. I know they did have a game April 19th, and there was roughly about 3,000 people there, but that's because they played it on the day before Easter on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you're not going to get a lot of people coming to a game on that day. But anyway, I haven't paid a lot of attention to it. I know attendance is down in Birmingham, but Mark is right. they don't care about the attendance. They don't want, I mean, if people come to the stands and watch the game, it's a bonus.
Yeah.
They want the TV contracts. They want the TV money. That's what they want.
The TV broadcast allows them to tinker with, technology and things of that nature. They just they're kind of a test league, and they give guys a chance that maybe got cut in the NFL another opportunity. So like Scott says, it's basically turned into a developmental league. And so we more power to them. It's just spring football, and I hate it.
Oh, but you're going to get spring football. Well, apparently there's football coming to whatever it is.
Who?
Joe Davis.
Who?
Yes, I know. They announced.
Are they called the Astros this week? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, or something. It's a debacle.
More Beavers.
It's a debacle. Yeah, no more Beavers. That was a disaster.
It was about as big a debacle. I ain't gonna lie. I'm just glad to be here today. Really got scary last night where I was. Gray skies, lightning, no visibility. And Harvest has always been known as a place that's kind of a tornado alley kind of thing. And thank goodness and thank the good Lord we didn't have any damage over at the homestead. Kept the dogs calm, but really a hairy evening and turned into a hairy morning. There's some flood stuff over there, some damage, some trees down. So
I'm just hoping to get
for everybody.
I'm just hoping to get power back. We've not had power since 6:45 last night.
That was a shock to me because I'm only guesstimating at about 6:25 to 6:30. I was in a small bathroom just taking cover, and I did walk out just to take a quick look. I'm just guesstimating between 50 and 60 mile an hour winds because I'd never really seen rain go that horizontal and just be pouring over a fence like that.
And the hail. I mean, we had big hail.
I didn't get any hail.
We had the hail.
I was
yeah.
looking for it.
I
was listening. I was like, is there? And I had my car in the garage. Big shout out to West Seaton for allowing me to, pull my car into the garage. But that's what I was waiting on. I was like, okay, where's the hail at? Because I was watching our guy Brad Travis on Facebook, and they were talking about it could be baseball size, and I was just like, Eugh. And
it was a little bigger than, it was almost like quarter size hail at the house last night. All of a sudden you just hear it come down, and it was like, whoa.
I was just waiting for the other shoe to drop for the power to go out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm sure with the wind blowing the way it was, I was like, I'm probably not going to have power for the majority of tonight. But instead, miraculously, only the router reset itself, and I missed the end of the massacre known as South Carolina season mercifully coming to an end thanks to the Florida Gators. And by the way, I have one thing to announce. I heard you I was coming in today. There is one slight correction. Now, this is according to Auburn Baseball on X. The game is at 11 a.m. tomorrow. They're not playing tonight. It is 11 a.m. tomorrow. What they did was they just moved one game back, and then they rolled everything forward.
The SEC brackets still have 11 p.m.
Well, I'm just going by what Auburn put out. Auburn put out, and because they put out their ticket info for their fans that have already bought tickets that are coming down. And I read it. Jason Caldwell put it on his X account late last night that Auburn would now get another day to rest. And it makes sense if you're going to redo the bracket the way they did. It makes absolutely no sense to have an 11 p.m. start. So whoever put that graphic up there for the SEC, fire his ass because he's dumb. Because it's 11 a.m. Because then it's basically 4 games tomorrow as well. I mean, that's just the way it's going to work.
Yeah, and there was only supposed to be it was only going to be 4 games tomorrow, but it was going to be the 2 in the winners and the 2. And so we knew Mother Nature usually plays havoc with that tournament. And sometimes it's amazing that they're able to get every game in, period.
Yeah.
So,
and see, I think what they're going to do is like I said, they're on that semifinal day, there'll be some semifinals, but they're going to be 3 games, I believe, on the semifinal day. So what they're doing is they're just shoving it back and hopefully not to get any more. And I think they'll still just be on Sunday 1 championship game, but I think they're going to play. That's the way I took it. Once they shoved Auburn back to 11 a.m. To lead off tomorrow, that, okay, they're going to play three other games, after that, and then they're going to play three, and because LSU wasn't even supposed to play until Friday due to the buys. So that's what it looks like to me. They've shoved everything back. I was watching it and I was like, wow, look at all this bad weather we're getting here. In Hoover, it wasn't even raining. And I'm thinking they're probably going to get all the games in.
Yeah.
And then I guess it was going to hit after, and that's why they just decided not to even start Mississippi State and Texas A&M. That's going to be the first game of the day today. But again, I think that's what they're doing. They're just – and that with a single elimination bracket, not without all this chaos, this double elimination, you can just shove it back and play an extra game on even a Saturday. And then that might inconvenience somebody. Somebody may have to play twice. But that's just like a double elimination day they used to have back in the day. So it shouldn't tax people too much.
Yeah. Tuesday night, ticket holders for Session 2 and Session 3, they will be admitted to games 4 and 5 on Wednesday. So if you had tickets the second, ticket holders with tickets for Session 3 and 4 will be admitted to 6 and 7 on Wednesday. So your games today, again, 9:30, and then it's going to be slated for the Alabama-Tennessee game, slated for 1, but it's going to be give or take a few. And then Oklahoma-Georgia is 4:30, followed by the Ole Miss game. And then that'll be, you never know what time that one will be. But then Auburn, you're right, is 11 a.m. on Thursday, followed by Texas at 3 o'clock. And then Vanderbilt's, well, that will follow the Texas game whenever that one concludes. Yeah. Friday's game, Arkansas will play at 3, and then LSU will play after that one. And then on Saturday, you're still going to get 2 games. And then on Sunday, you get 1 game at 2 o'clock. So they're able to get it all in. So, wow. If you're Arkansas and LSU, you get an extra day's rest. Man.
Yep.
I mean, now what do you do if you're Arkansas and LSU? You got an extra day's rest, but you got the NCAA tournament coming up. What do you do for those if you're those two?
Well, I mean, I think you just still approach it like a weekend, and that's basically what I was when I was watching the coverage last night. And they were talking to coaches all day long and about the new format and everything. And they said basically if you get that double bye, and I know they had talked to Dave Van Horn, if they and that was also when they were finishing their beat down of Tennessee on this past Saturday. He's like, well, you just approach it like a weekend now. Like if you get the double bye and you're one of those top 4, the Texas, Arkansas, LSU,
you play 3 games.
Yeah, you're just playing. You're playing 3 games, and Vanderbilt. It's just so you can set your pitching any way you want to, because the regionals will not be until Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and so you're going to get several days off. And so, especially if you use your 1 and 2 starters, they'll get their usual rest. So it's basically like another conference weekend, pretty much, if you get the double bye. Now, if you're getting a single bye, you may have at least 1 game with Johnny Holstaff. Now, we're going to talk to Mark Etheridge at the top of the hour, and he was there last night and in Hoover, and he's going to be there probably all week. But it's one of those things where we'll get his take on it. But I think like it sounds like from listening to Jason Jackson on 97.7 The Zone yesterday, Rob Vaughn was doing the TV duties, but Alabama, Tyler Fay, 6 innings, 6 Ks. They win the game 4-1. I thought they might be doing theirs like a weekend, and then if they got deeper in it than Johnny Holstaff, they're not. They used Fay, and now they're not, according to what they said. They could change their minds, but Riley Quick's not pitching today. It was going to be a Johnny Holstaff kind of piece it together thing. Then in my opinion, because they're trying to keep him on, he and Zane Adams on their regular rest. If Alabama were fortunate enough to win, they would play Texas the next day because Texas got that double bye,
right,
and just got the game shoved back. But, what they would do is I think then Quick would pitch, and then Zane Adams if Alabama were to get to the semifinals. Because if you win the 3rd game, you in the semis, which would be on Saturday. So, and then if you get to Sunday, whoever the hell's left, somebody step up, be a Jeremy Vaughn, give you 5, 6, 7 innings, whatever. Maybe you never know in these tournaments, but you just kind of, it's what Rob Vaughn, you just played the audio.
Right.
Win today, worry about today. And then that's what you have to do. Get to tomorrow, tough it out. And so, but the other 4, the Texas, the Arkansas, LSU, Vandy, they can set it up like just any other weekend, even with a small weather delay, because really that's not affecting them too much. And it may give, like you said, it may give LSU, a few more hours rest, so to speak, but not really affecting them too much.
All right, let's get our first break into the morning, shall we? It's Wednesday edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. We're extremely proud that Baumhauer's Victory Grill has been serving Alabama for 43 legendary years. Our motto is legendary fun, legendary food, and we strive to make every dining experience a special one for all of our guests. Our menu features delicious, always fresh and scratch-made in-house recipes. And of course, our award-winning wings and sauces. And don't forget, our happy hour and halftime daily specials cannot be beat. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
The sound of the organ. The crack of the bat.
It is gone.
The sight of watching the ball go over the wall. And the taste of peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's nothing like it. It's America's pastime. From the first pitch to the final out, you can hear every game right here on your home for Alabama baseball.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello, listeners. My name is Jonathan Dunwoody, and I'm at Minuteman Press. We are a full-service print shop that is locally owned and operated. I have personally been handling direct mail for over 17 years and have a great relationship with the USPS. We are the only print shop in the area that is listed as a print provider on their website and the only printing franchise that can use their logo as our partner on marketing materials. We can help from conception to design, print, and delivery to the post office. And with our easy, secure online payment option, you don't even need to leave your office. Minuteman Press, we're not just putting ink on paper, we're building relationships.
Online at 977ESPN.com.
Stream them online.
Call in.
It's an important job, and it's an vital organization.
Tweet in and join in. We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I got rice cooking in the microwave. Got a 3-day bed I don't plan to shave, and it's goofy thing.
Oh, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond, and
at least my microwave was still working yesterday.
We had nothing.
I hate it, man.
You know, and here's the thing.
No, we had to go to the pantry.
No, we just had to eat whatever was there. But here's the thing, too. I mean, I could have picked up the phone.
Yeah.
And I could have called Papa John's.
Right.
and I could have had food brought to the house.
Yeah, because there was still stuff open.
But that would have been evil of me to do.
You thought it would have been evil?
Because I'm not going to make somebody come out in the storm to deliver me food.
Well, I mean, because it really didn't stop raining.
It didn't stop raining. There was still bad. Yeah.
After 9 o'clock.
Right. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and be one of those people that order. They probably even closed anyway.
Well, I ain't going to lie. I ended up driving about 9 o'clock to Dave's Hot Chicken. Look at John.
You were
peeked it in there.
You were wanting that for a few days.
I don't know. I had two options, and Dave's Hot Chicken was the first one because I wanted to give it a shot. I know our boy B Rich, he'd already come on the show and give it his grade about a B-. And B Rich is a very food savvy dude, and I will have to agree with him. I had a couple of the sliders, big tenders now, and I had medium heat. But I'm going to tell you something about that. It don't hold a damn candle to the extra hot honey chicken.
Well, okay, so if you got medium heat, then you need to ramp it up a little bit.
I'm not ramping nothing up.
Well, then how can you really know for sure what it is?
No way in hell, because it's probably then, if I do ramp it up, it probably will taste like the extra hot honey chicken from Jersey Mike. So I had two sliders and some fries. It was pretty good, and it was a popular spot because I think they were getting shellacked. I mean, and shout out to them, even with all this weather, they stayed open till 11 o'clock. And so they were getting, as you would think, they got a lot of mobile orders and stuff, people needing food. And then we had some, thank God for them. We had some first responders and from the fire department that were over there eating and getting some food and over there in Madison. And so I had to wait for a few minutes, and again, it was good, but wow. It was, I wanted to at least try medium, but I was afraid to go up after that because I'd already almost had my lungs melted a few days ago. So, pretty good. Not a big fan of kale slaw, Scott. I know you know what kale is.
Yeah. Like kale slaw.
I felt like I was eating seaweed, but I did eat it, most of it anyway. Now, next time, I think it's going to be if we partake in it again, I think it's going to be no kale slaw, only pickles. The pickles were quite good. I'm a pickle guy, so I enjoyed that.
So the chicken was good.
The chicken was good.
Chicken was good. Okay.
Yeah, it was just a little bit messy, but it was good.
I had a banana.
You did?
Yes, that's all I had for dinner.
Well, I mean, the microwave wasn't even working. Dang it! I mean, you couldn't really do anything.
I could have made a sandwich.
You could have had cereal.
Could have had cereal. Could have made a sandwich.
Because your milk's not going to spoil that quick.
No, but I got a lot of stuff in the freezer that does need to be. I mean, we need that power back on,
man. We can't lose all that freezer stuff. You can't even open the damn freezer.
I don't want to open it. We got one outside, and I don't want to open it. But I mean, we've got a lot of stuff in there that I do not want to lose. I know.
They're already digging up your yard the other day, digging it up.
That's because of replacing the gas line. I tell you what, I mean, I give the city of Huntsville a lot of credit. They're very expeditious in doing things, and they're very fast in getting things done. But they sure have made a mess of my street, and they've made a mess in my yard. I mean, they're trying to clean it all up, but it's just a muddy mess now. Replacing gas lines and stuff that are apparently like 40 years old or 50 years old. They're replacing these gas lines and making a mess out of everything. All right, 7:30 something on a Wednesday. We're going to get a break in when we come back. College football conversation. They handed out some sports Emmys yesterday. Very familiar name picks up one in his first year of talking sports. We'll fill you all in next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
Quiet night expected for this Wednesday night with low temperatures falling into the lower 60s. Heading into our Thursday, expect to see another day full of mostly sunshine. High temperatures once again warming into the upper 70s for the afternoon. A few isolated showers going to be possible, but most areas will be staying dry. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Carrabba's Italian Grill is the best place to enjoy authentic Italian cuisine, passed down from our founders' family recipes. Featuring a wood-burning grill, you can enjoy Carrabba's signature dishes, including chicken brine, wood-fired grilled steak and chops, and classic Italian pasta dishes. Have a special event? Elevate your catering with Carrabba's Catering, the perfect way to enjoy large party portions of your favorite hand-prepared dishes for any event. Carrabba's Italian Grill at Parkway Place, Huntsville.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
The best in local sports talk from the 256. We are local.
When you're number one, you don't have to worry.
We are award-winning. Thank you for listening. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll be set for life.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome back into the program on a Sunday. Wednesday. I was looking during the break on something later in June on a Sunday, and it got my mind thinking. But yesterday was the 32nd anniversary of the final episode of Cheers.
Yeah, I saw that, and I saw what
and George Wendt passed away yesterday on the anniversary of the 32nd year of the final episode.
Years old?
76 years old, passed away in his sleep peacefully last night. But it was kind of
and if anybody's fans of the show, Scott and I certainly grew up on it. We are, and we've had others that are, and we've even referred to this character on the show at times.
Oh no! How about this?
Not enough.
No! Norman?
You know?
Never that stuff.
Better give me a tall one in case I like it.
Norman?
How you doing, Norm?
Cut the small talk and give me a beer.
That's
just yes, classic.
That's the small talk and give me a beer.
Classic.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, it was sad. I mean, but anyway, so the final episode of Cheers. Yep.
Don't forget his buddy Cliff.
The final episode of Cheers is still the second most watched finale in the history of television.
Well, I mean,
the number one most watched finale still is MASH.
MASH. My dad loved MASH, and I watched it when I was growing up. You know, as far as the when it was on, you know, Nick at Night and stuff like that, you'd see reruns of MASH, and of course I would watch it. But my dad was a huge MASH fan, and certainly it was a great show. The episodes I've seen, and of course I grew up on Cheers as well. I mean, who has not seen Cheers? Matter of fact, back in those days, Scott, when I believe Cheers, it went off the air, late 80s, right? Because I think it was still in the 80s.
The last episode was May 20th of 1993.
It was 93?
93, yes.
Wow. So see, it's been so long, I've forgotten that. But I will say, back in those days, that was the days there was the DVDs hadn't started rising to prominence, and it was still a VHS kind of thing, and pretty much everybody had a VHS recording of Cheers, the final episode, and things of that nature, and so it was definitely an iconic show. And I know what did we say the other day that the bar the door to the bar sold for like 100.
It's like 125,000. Yeah, the door to Cheers sold. Yeah. So it was sad. My wife told me that last night. She was like, Norm passed away, and I was like, wow,
yeah. I mean, those were the days, man. In the 80s, you had the good sitcoms. The sitcoms were unbelievable. The 80s and the early 90s, they suck now.
They do.
Just get off my lawn. They absolutely suck.
Oh, hey, by the way, the Oklahoma City Thunder took game 1 last night.
Who? Okay. Only thing I saw of that was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander flopped, like they all do. Yeah, like somebody had, punched him in the gut when somebody brushed him. And I tried to draw a foul. That's about all I saw.
The other big story that's coming out from yesterday is they handed out the sports Emmys last night.
None of this is a shock to me. I told everybody he would be a natural.
And Nick Saban, in his first year being with ESPN's College Game Day, brought home his very first sports Emmy. He gets it for outstanding personality and emerging on-air talent. Pretty impressive for a short run so far on College Game Day.
Yeah, and he's so charismatic. People think he's just a grumpy old man, but he's not. He's very, very charismatic, very well spoken, and he comes. I mean, look, the name of this show came from him doing a bit on ESPN when he was still coaching. And so I knew he was going to be really, really good on the air.
Right.
And I don't care about all these Karen idiots who email ESPN because he accidentally says
the S word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The manure button, the manure word or something. He may even drop an F-bomb. Who cares? If you don't like it, turn the channel. I mean, he's not doing it on purpose. He's just a passionate guy. If you don't like it, watch something else. But if you're that easily offended, go to Poland.
Poland? Why Poland?
I don't know. I'm just saying, get the hell out of the United States.
Oh, anyway, yeah. So Nick Saban gets an Emmy. Nick Saban was also on hand yesterday for the Knicks kids golf.
Now, that was weird, though. That was weird because you always think about the Knicks kids stuff happening right before football season.
Well, they had the luncheon before football season. They've always had this golf tournament. They've always had this golf tournament around now anyway.
Yeah, but it just, I don't know. It just seems different, but it is kind of strange.
Well, he was asked yesterday about the playoffs. He was asked a bunch of different things. Number one, he did praise Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
He praised Ty Simpson for being that guy that stayed with the program, has done it the right way, has battled, and has earned the right to battle to be the starting quarterback. He did it the right way. And so he praised Ty Simpson for that. He also talked about the commission, exactly what he was asked about at the Regions charity the other day about the commission and all that other stuff. And he doubled down on it again yesterday, saying, don't need a commission, don't understand a little bit about it. But he also was asked about expanding the college football playoffs yesterday to 16 teams. Here's what Nick Saban had to say about expanding the college football playoffs.
You know, we've talked about this before. You know, back in the years, I was never for expanding the playoff because I thought bowl games were really important to, you know, the history and tradition of college football. But now that we have expanded the playoff, now the bowl games have taken a less significant role. So I think expanding the playoff and having as many teams involved as, you know, we can without playing too many games for the players. I think that's a little bit of a concern. Is probably a good thing. You know, we've talked.
There you go. So remember, back in the day, he said, hey, he doesn't want to bring less value to the bowl games. But now he's saying the bowl games have become less value, so we might as well increase the playoffs to 16 teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's inevitable. I think everybody that saw it expand to 12 and then they started already talking about 14 or 16, hell, it's going to go to 16 because that means more money.
Right.
And then it allows a couple more, teams from power conferences that actually have a chance to win it to play it. So there you go. But I just think overall, I think everybody's always expected it to go to 16. Now the haggling is over automatic bids, and does the SEC and the Big Ten get 4 apiece and things of that nature? Hell, if they don't pass a rule like that, I think it's inevitable that the SEC may get 5 or 6 some of these sad sacks unless they put some Democrats on the committee that don't know a damn thing about football and they just want to give some crying, bleeding hearts a chance to go lose 66-0.
Oh, can't wait for football season. 7:45 on a Wednesday morning. Let's get a break in. When we come back, the NCAA is giving some of its power away. Who are they giving it to, and what are they giving? We'll explain it all.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states will work as before. See website for detail.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day. And when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us. Smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
Tom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those two-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Oh, I keep looking at some of these transfer portal stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin Cambridge is committed to UCF.
Yeah. And this is his
7th year of eligibility.
I was going to guess 9th, but okay. He used to play at Auburn.
So did you see the story then yesterday from Zakai Ziegler?
Move on. You played 138 games. The only reason this is happening is because he's not an NBA prospect, despite being a hell of a player, and he thinks he can make more money from a Tennessee vomit booster than going overseas and playing. This is the only reason he's doing it. It's not to get his education. I believe he's already done that. He's just trying to play a 5th year so he can grab some money and see Tennessee get to the Elite Eight and gag again.
He says he is suing the NCAA for his 5th year. He alleges that the NCAA rules permitting 4 seasons of eligibility within a 5-year window is an unlawful restraint of trade under federal and state antitrust laws.
Crap. If he was an NBA player, he wouldn't even be filing this stupid lawsuit. Everybody knows that this is why it is, because he's not going to get drafted, because he's a 5'8" dynamic point guard. Go to the G League, work your way up, go to Russia, whatever, dodge a missile. I don't know. Just get paid. Call Richard Hendricks. He knows the people to play for. Go make you 6 figures. Get the hell out of college basketball. You had your opportunity. And if you played at Alabama, I'd say the same damn thing. Move on for somebody else. All you guys were trying to do is grab money because you're not good enough to play in the NBA. Period. End of story.
The Vols do have 1 open roster spot left, but they did address the point guard spot. They signed Maryland transfer Jacoby Gillespie. So there you go. But anyway,
time to go.
Tennessee is hoping for a swift resolution to the lawsuit.
I swiftly give him a plane ticket to Israel. Well, Richard said it was a good league. Hell, I can't.
We're just throwing out countries left and right today. Poland, Israel.
Unless he wants to play in the G League,
Russia.
he could probably make more money in Israel or Russia. Just don't piss the wrong person off.
Turkey.
Oh man.
No, isn't that where?
Yeah, I mean the Turkish league's good. I just don't. Being overseas is nerve-wracking, though, man.
No, it is. It is.
And if you don't go
to me,
the, right
the best
place,
one would be Spain.
Money.
If I'm going to play anywhere, picture-wise, mentally, Spain would be where I would go.
Spain wouldn't be a bad spot.
Or Australia. You know, Josh Majette was down in. Josh Majette played Australia.
France. They seem to be growing 7-footers. I don't know, but Zakai didn't get none.
I was going to say a little late for him. Go to France to become a 7-footer.
I'm just saying, they seem to be just like churning them out.
Oh,
you know. So
anyway,
but yeah, try to maybe get in the Euro League. I don't know. But Zakai can
leave it.
Zakai can play some professional basketball. He was one hell of a player and competitor.
Right.
It's time to move on.
But he's not the only one doing this, though. There's a bunch of people around the college landscape doing this.
Look at the transfer portal, man. Look at all these guys.
They're full of guys hoping to get eligibility.
The transfer portal with no eligibility.
Yes.
Look at Jeff Goodman's X account. He keeps up with it. He's just like, this is outrageous. All these guys that are entering the portal, but they have no eligibility remaining.
It's hundreds of guys that have gone into the portal that do not have a 5th year of eligibility. They're hoping to get one, and they've put themselves in the portal.
Yeah.
Jason is with us real fast. Good morning, Jason.
What's up, Jason? We got you.
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, you got me.
How you doing, buddy?
Oh, great. Hey, you know, the Tennessee Guard, the high schools now can start having 18-year-olds take 2 extra years by flunking school and have 20-year-olds out there instead of 16.
Man.
Same thing, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. On this SEC baseball tournament and the weather delay, you know what? And they could still have the double elimination. They need to have half the games at Rickwood Field and then half at Hoover.
Well, you know, as far as as you know, it's single elimination for the entire event, and
they changed that this year. This first year for it.
So, like we said, going into today, Alabama's game got pushed back, and we know that Mississippi State and Texas A&M are going to lead it off at 9:30, and then Auburn will get moved to Thursday, and then they'll just have 3 games on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and then
The
it'll
one
still
on
be
Sunday.
2 semifinals on Saturday, and then championship on Sunday. So it doesn't really affect. The only day it affects, as far as it affects 3 days total. I mean, it affects today, and it affects Thursday. And then, of course, you'll have an extra game on Friday. But then the weekend, it doesn't affect at all. Saturday and Sunday are unaffected unless there's more weather. Hopefully there won't be. But if you have no more weather delays, then everything will stay on schedule. It's just going to affect Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
And on the girls' softball, no bigger than what the stadium is. Why don't they move that thing to St. Pete, Florida, and put it in the dome and have no more co-champions?
Well,
just hold on about the SEC softball tournament.
Some major stuff going on.
Spring meetings are coming up very fast in the next week, and just hold tight when it comes to SEC softball. Not going to say anymore.
Yeah, we're not going to say what's going to be announced. The only thing I will say is going forward, I think they're going to start trying to use turf fields, and because I think that it will help with delays because it's a faster turnaround. Because then, like you said, Jason, there wouldn't be a rain out and then a co-champion. That way you'd be able to play the game, because you've already seen Alabama come to Albertville and play on turf, and you see it around college softball, and it allows you, and we've seen it in the high school regionals in Alabama. And I believe, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, all that stuff over at Chocolaca is pretty much turf, most of it, right? Not all of it.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I think it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it is, because that's the one reason they moved it over there. Because, again, Montgomery was lagging behind at Lagoon Park, and now you can play through some weather delays, because they had a few even this year, but they got them done.
All right, thanks for the phone call, Jason. We are up against the hour break. When we come back, we're going to be chock full of guests here to kick off hour number 2. A lot of stuff to get through. Mark Etheridge will join us. Vince Ferrara will join us. That's all in the first 30 minutes of hour number 2. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
The Atlanta Braves dropped a 5-3 decision yesterday to the Washington Nationals. It's A.J. Smith-Chandler on the hill today, 3-2, 2.33 ERA. He's an $1.62 favorite against Trevor Williams of the Nationals, plus 136. 8.5 flat, the total. Alabama and Tennessee meet at the SEC tournament in Hoover. The Crimson Tide winners yesterday over Missouri, a $1.60 dog against the Volunteers, minus 210, 11 flat, the total. Jacksonville State and Louisiana Tech at the Conference USA tournament, Lynchburg, Virginia. Both teams minus 110 of the money line. Troy minus 250 against Old Dominion, the Sun Belt tournament. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Woo! Welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone, Hour 2, Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, helping us get this day going. 256-881-5151. You can experience the SportsMed difference. The official medical providers for the Rocket City Trash Pandas, UAH Chargers. Don't forget the Rocket City Trash Pandas. They play each and every game on Talk Radio, WZZM. They are playing baseball in Hoover. They are playing baseball in Hoover again this morning. They played baseball in Hoover yesterday. They're going to play baseball in Hoover a lot today and a lot tomorrow because Mother Nature is juggling things around. But nonetheless, Alabama a winner, Oklahoma a winner, and Florida winners all yesterday. Again, still waiting Texas A&M, Mississippi State. That'll be 9:30. Then we get into the second round action, which will be Alabama, Tennessee, followed by Oklahoma, Georgia, followed by Florida, Ole Miss. And then you got to wait for tomorrow to get to the Auburn Tigers. But that's what we have going on in Hoover.
It is. And then our good friend Mark Etheridge, D1Baseball.com, has been live in Hoover, and he's been kind enough to join us this morning after that shortened day yesterday where we saw Florida polish off South Carolina. And as Scott said, Alabama 4-1 over Missouri and 5-1 Oklahoma over the vanquished who do they beat, Scott? My brain is locked here.
Oklahoma beat Kentucky. Florida beat South Carolina.
I always lock up when I think about Jeff. But anyway, Oklahoma beats Kentucky 5-1, and we're going to discuss that with our good friend Mark Etheridge. Mark, good morning, sir. It's been a little hairy here. We went through some severe weather in North Alabama, but we are here and thankful, and we're glad you're all right, and we appreciate you for joining us this morning.
Absolutely, guys. Let's talk some ball.
Absolutely. What impressed you the most yesterday? Did Alabama lock up a regional yet, or do they need to beat Tennessee later this afternoon?
No, I think there's still work to be done. When you look around the country, there's still so many games, so many teams in that host mix that can help their resume. It's always that question, right? When have I done enough? Because you don't know what that other guy's going to do. Because if you both do, hey, Team A needs to win 2 games. Well, Team B needs to win 2 games. What if they both win 2 games, right? So then you got to figure that out. So I do think that Alabama helped themselves. I mean, they didn't hit a whole lot. Missouri had stacked their pitching staff. They held some guys out of the Mississippi State series to save them for Tuesday, 2 of their, I would say, their 3 best pitchers, and used them and really kept Alabama under wraps. Some walks kind of hurt Missouri a little bit, and Alabama took advantage of that. And then Alabama was able to make the pitches with men on base. Missouri had 9 hits, but I think they left like 12 men on base, something like that, because Alabama just kept making that clutch pitch and that clutch defensive play to wiggle out of jams. I think for now, looking ahead, Alabama's got Tennessee today, and that's a monster game, I think, for both teams. Right. Tennessee had struggled down the stretch, but they lost 5 series in a row, 6 out of 7. So it's not trending well. So they need something positive to happen, and I feel like if they could come out and beat Alabama today, Tennessee would be certainly improve their position, and they're not out of hosting. If they were to beat Alabama and then maybe beat Texas later in the week, they have a great shot. So I think so that makes today's game Alabama. If they beat Tennessee, that certainly helps their hosting position. So this is probably the biggest game of the tournament to this point, coming up later this morning, or I guess now it's going to be after lunch.
After lunch now, and then you can follow that up. I mean, with the second biggest one of the day, then Ole Miss and Florida. That's going to be the nightcap tonight. But I mean it's kind of sandwiched in between everything.
Yeah, similar game. I feel like that Florida, they were 1-11 after 4 weeks of SEC play, and now they got 16 SEC wins now, counting last night. They're just playing so great, and despite a whole bunch of injuries. And then they're going to face off with Ole Miss, who really took it to Auburn. That surprised me. I thought Auburn would go into Oxford and win that series, and Ole Miss just outslugged them. So that'll be fascinating to see that game, because both of those teams have eyes on earning a hosting spot as well. There's not going to be room for all of them. You know, we talked about Alabama and Tennessee trying to get there, Florida and Ole Miss trying to get there. Maybe one gets there, you know, depending on what we have around the country. But I do feel like that's another monster game from a pecking order standpoint. I think the other thing to point out from yesterday is Kentucky. They came into the game 13-17 in SEC play, but they did have some big wins. They went to Tennessee and won a series. They swept Oklahoma at home. They went to A&M and won a series. I think they have some wins. Their RPI, I think it's like 37, something like. Of course, you know, it changes after each result, but it's in that range. And I feel like they're probably in. But if weird stuff happens around the country, it could be really precarious for them. They could have used another victory, and you know, it's hard to beat a team. They just swept Oklahoma a week and a half ago. It's really hard to beat a good team 4 times in that span of time, and they just weren't able to get it done. Oklahoma shut them down on the mound, and Kentucky just couldn't mount anything offensively.
Well, then, I mean, Texas A&M and Mississippi State, we were supposed to see them yesterday. We're going to see them this morning at 9:30. I mean, this is a big one for Texas A&M, right?
Gotta win.
Oh, yeah. I mean, their season's over with their next loss.
Woo.
So I feel like, you know, maybe if they win 3 games, then they're back to the bubble.
Oof. Wow.
You know, that's tough, isn't it? I feel like, you know, depending on what else happens again, but I do feel like they got to go on a serious run to overcome, you know, that devastating sweep at the hands of Missouri at home. The RPI is not good. The conference record's not good. What they do have are a whole bunch of good series wins. They won at Tennessee. They won at Arkansas. They beat LSU at home in series. No other bubble team's going to have anything like that. So they've just got to if they could get back in that discussion so that they can be evaluated, they've at least got a fighting chance. But that all starts this morning. We'll see what they can do against the Mississippi State team that's really hot. You know, that's another interesting story that they let go of Chris Lamona. And since then, Justin Parker, and they seem to be playing with more confidence. They're certainly hitting the ball better. They're not giving up those big meltdown innings that have really plagued them through most of their losses. And that's a team that's playing well. So that's if A&M had to go on a run, that's a really tough one to start with because Mississippi State's playing well themselves.
So Michael Early, is he playing for his job right now? You and Kendall Rogers do as good a job as anybody of the climate and the of the coaching carousel in college baseball. We've already seen Mississippi State fire Chris Lemonis. But is Michael Early, with being the number 1 team in the country in the preseason, and what you just got through saying 3 wins to get to the bubble, is he in trouble?
Well, there's certainly got to be some hard discussions on the direction of the program. When you come in with expectations, I mean, they were expected to win the title.
Right.
With all the money that they spent to retain that talent, they brought in some pieces from the portal. I mean, it was all the chips into the middle of the table. We're going to win this year. And with the new first-year head coach, it just hasn't gone well. You know, when I look around the league and I see teams that have struggled, and like Florida, for example,
right,
they went through a bunch of injuries, and Kevin O'Sullivan was able to use his experience that he's been through this before and was able to find that mix and push them up and elevate them. And now they're playing as well as anybody. And Early was not able to do that. And that's a tough thing for a first-year head coach to take on. And you wonder, you know, if guy's never been a head coach before, why he gets a job where the expectation is to win the title. But that's where we are. And I feel like if they lose today, it could be a really difficult week for A&M. Or really, if they lose the next couple days, it could be. I mean, they could just decide to cut bait. I do feel like with that Michael Early will eventually become a really good head coach. I'm impressed with him personally. I just, this was ambitious, and it has not worked out. So I do feel like, I mentioned the big games today. Well, that's certainly as big as any for him and for A&M.
Boy, if you were fortunate enough, Texas, Vanderbilt, Arkansas, LSU, to get one of these double byes, now you're not playing. I mean, you have almost a whole extra day of rest again for these teams. And when we said it before, and we said it, and Drew said it in hour one, really sets up like a weekend series now.
It does. It'll be fascinating to see how those teams approach it, because they really have nothing to gain from this week. I mean, it's be nice to get a trophy and win the tournament, but from a postseason standpoint, which is what all those teams are focused on, making a run to Omaha and winning it when you're there, if they lose their opener, they're not hurt. So what do you do? How do you use your pitching? Do you try some guys who maybe you haven't tried but you feel like can help you next week and a week after, or find out if they can help you so you don't use them, right? So I feel like it's going to be, because every team's going to approach it a little bit differently. And what they do, if one of them decides, hey, I'm not that interested in being there, that opens a door for one of these other teams that may be a little more motivated, trying to earn a host side, or just A&M trying to play their way into the field to ascend into one, perhaps even win the whole thing.
And then what in your mind has Auburn already locked up a top 8 national seed, or do they need to get a W against the winner of Mississippi State and A&M?
Well, the way I would word that is they enter the week with a top 8 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that doesn't mean that someone else can't come take it. Okay, so if a Florida State, who we did not have projected as a top 8, or if Coastal Carolina wins the Sun Belt, and the committee typically rewards double champions. If they won the regular season, if they win the automatic, perhaps that carries some weight. Someone could come in and take it. So if you're Auburn, you do have something to play for, because I think they are the most vulnerable of those 6 SEC teams vying for those top 8 spots.
Well, great stuff. We know you have a very busy schedule. Weather was kind to us in this way, and you were able to join us instead of having to be up until 2 a.m. or whatever it would have been. But we appreciate it, and let everybody know how to connect with you guys over at D1 Baseball.
Yeah, we're all over the globe here, pretty much. We've got people at most of the conference tournaments, the major ones anyway, are around the country, and also keeping an eye on how an SEC game affects the bubble for an ACC team and vice versa. So if you love all that kind of strategy and bracketology and all that stuff, D1 Baseball is the place you need to be.
Thank you, sir. We really appreciate Mark. You as always.
You got it.
Let's get a break in. When we come back, Vince Ferrara is going to join us. We'll start previewing Alabama, Tennessee coming up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, If you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Thank you for making us your number one choice for sports talk in North Alabama.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Well, they were supposed to play this morning at 9:30, that being Tennessee and Alabama. Still going to get to hear the Tide and Vols here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Now, here's the deal. Texas A&M and Mississippi State are going to play because of the setup at Hoover.
Mm-hmm.
And this, if you follow the High School Athletic Association here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They can warm up on other diamonds around there in Hoover. So as soon as the Texas A&M Mississippi State game is done, they are going right into the Alabama-Tennessee game. There's not going to be a long wait. There's not going to be infield. There's not going to be all this. No, they are going right as soon as they can get the field ready to go. Chalk it up, redo the bases. Bam, they are going to play this Alabama-Tennessee game. There's not going to be a long delay, a long wait.
Well, who better to help us preview it than our good friend? He just finished Sports Talk with John Wilkerson, who is, of course, the voice of Tennessee baseball, and he'll be on the call today. Vince is also part of the call. He does assist with the Vol Baseball Radio Network and the IMG Radio Network, and of course, he hosts the daily program with John Wilkerson, Sports Talk, and he's from the Sports Animal 99.1 The Game, and he's on with us right now. How you doing, Vince? So we appreciate the quick time right now.
I am good. Always great to be on with you. Not a whole lot of sleep we had, as you know, so many severe storms through the southeast, so lost power and on short rest and fumes going into today. But always fun to talk to you guys.
Well, and it's interesting because I heard this from Alabama side yesterday, and I thought before I lost my streaming service where I was watching, we had severe weather. That it sounded like Tennessee was going to go kind of with a Johnny Holstaff approach. What is the word coming out of Knoxville about how Tony Vitello is going to approach this game with Alabama?
Well, I do think there's a good chance that you will see a number of guys. Now, Marcus Phillips will get the ball to start, and that's not a surprise. So he is coming off one of his most impressive performances of the year. Against Arkansas, a game that Tennessee won in the first game of that series. And the big criticism with Marcus has been so many teams stealing bases when he's on the mound. 36 stolen bases against Marcus Phillips all this season. Tennessee as a team last year in 73 games only allowed 56 stolen bases. And they didn't have one single pitcher last year allow more than 9 stolen bases. And one of those was Drew Beam, who pitched 102 innings. So that's how much teams have been running against Marcus Phillips. So a lot of teams have been doing it now, Vanderbilt included, and so he needed to be. And Tony Vitello said he had to be better in that aspect of it. Some of it is the catching as well, where Cal Stark was an elite defensive catcher last year for Tennessee with backpick guys, and so Marcus Phillips is still new to pitching. He's still learning. He didn't pitch a ton in junior college, and was a two-way guy, and just pitched a little bit last year for Tennessee. So he's still very young to the game, and so just hasn't been as advanced in the timing and the pick throws to first, and being as quick to the plate. So he sped all those up. He threw over to first a lot, and was able to keep Arkansas from stealing bases against him. So did a much better job, and he just had a different presence against Arkansas. We'll see what he's like, I don't want to say under the lights, but with the postseason pressure today. But he's a crazy talented guy that can get up to 100 and will be a high draft pick in the MLB draft. So he's going to get the ball first. It depends on how deep he goes, on how much they'll have a pitch count on him. They don't want to wear him out, and nobody will wear anybody out, but there'll be a number of different guys, I think, that they'll put out there to get midweek work and set them up for a regional in, say, the order and how they want to do it, or just to get guys. They rely on a number of young guys out of the bullpen just to get guys some postseason work and get their feet wet. So it won't be a full Johnny All-Staff, but I think you'll see a number of different guys.
Well, Vince, I mean, the season started really good for Tennessee. I mean, they were playing with a lot of passion, they're just playing really good baseball. Towards the back half of the season, towards the end, things got a little bumpy there for Tony Vitello and company. I mean, this results probably not like what they wanted. What's kind of been the I guess you could say the tail of the tape from the first half to the last half of the season?
Well, it is interesting. The Alabama series was sort of the reverse of what their pattern has been during this rough stretch, where they've won the first game of series, then lose the second one, and then have difficulty in those rubber matches. So that Alabama series was the reverse. Tennessee was coming off of their first loss of the year to ETSU. Alabama got them in game one, 2-game losing streak, and you're like, what in the world is going on? This team was undefeated. And then they win the last two and go on another run until they ran into Texas A&M. So I think Alabama is different than what they were at the time. I think Tennessee is different. It's not just one thing you can point to. There have been a few things that have been prevalent more than others. One has been the defense, and they've just kind of come in bad times with errors. Against Arkansas, Tegan Coons, one of their freshman right-handers, threw over to first, had a pick, but the umpire called a balk, which is one of the just worst balk calls I've seen. Okay, well, you have that, moves the runner over to second base after you got a bloop single to get on, and then you have an error on Dean Curley, 2 walks, you load the bases, and then grand slam. So you have something bad, a bad break go your way, and then you complicate it with the error and walks. So that's kind of the way things have been during this stretch. It's some moments of playing well, and then some key moments where it kind of gets away from them at the same time. And the last game of the series has been where they've struggled the most. And Liam Doyle has been unbelievable. That Arkansas game was an outlier for him, but Phillips hasn't been able to go as deep into ball games. And then game 3, they've sort of had to piece it together. AJ Russell started. He's still trying to come back, but he's a super talented arm. The freshman in Tegan Coons maybe hasn't. He's had some ups and downs. Brayton Krenzel, another freshman they were using on Sundays when they had the freshman combo, he got mono, so then he lost a bunch of weight, and he's been trying to come back. So it's kind of been a little bit of everything. Some defense, lack of timely hitting has been another thing that has popped up for them. And this team hasn't had as many answers to in in-game adversity like they did last year, where they can sort of just explode and hammer their way, long ball their way out of any mistakes that might pop up, or be so consistent on the mound that they could just get out of jams that maybe they put themselves into.
We just talked to Mark Etheridge of D1Baseball.com. He thinks this is a huge game coming up this afternoon. He says both Alabama and Tennessee need to have work to do to host. Are you of the same opinion? I mean, what does Tennessee need to do on their side? Because the second part of the question, if they win today and get Texas tomorrow, is that where we'll see Liam Doyle?
Yeah, Mark's great. He certainly knows the ins and outs of the committee and the things that they really value, probably better than we do. But I've seen Alabama in enough regional host positions that it seems like they're in a decent spot, but it wouldn't hurt them for sure to get another top 20 RPI win. And then you see what happens with Texas after that. I think Tennessee has a little bit more difficult route. We had Kyle Peterson on from ESPN, the SEC Network, this morning, and I asked him from Tennessee. He said that Alabama was a little bit ahead of Tennessee, he thought, in terms of the host conversation, even though Tennessee, took that series against them. But I think, the slide for Tennessee and losing 5 straight series and 6 of their last 7, I think that it could be sort of a tiebreaker type if the resumes you put side by side are very similar. I just think they look at teams differently and how they're playing now versus earlier in the year where Tennessee was stockpiling those wins. Florida's a great example of that. Tennessee swept Florida, but it seems like Florida is viewed in the RPI and in some host projections maybe ahead of Tennessee. So I think one win for Alabama would put them in a good spot. I think Tennessee, it's 2. And that's what Kyle Peterson thought. He said 2 wins and you feel pretty good. Because if you get a win, and this will be the case for either one of them, I think either one of these, if Alabama beats Texas, and I think they should be a lock for a host, you beat that kind of team and impact your resume like that, you get a top 5 win, then any doubts about how you're playing gets erased, even if you lose your next game. And that's, I think, even more important for Tennessee than for Alabama, because there is that view of the Vols that haven't won a game since the first half of conference play.
Well, great stuff.
A series. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. Great stuff. And if Tennessee does win today, Liam Doyle versus the Vols, versus the Longhorns, that would be must-see TV. And if Tennessee were to get those 2 wins, I agree. I think they very well could be back at Lindsey Nelson, even though it's been an anomaly this year. They haven't played as well at home, even though they've had such a great home field advantage historically under Tony Vitello. But Vince, we really appreciate it. We know your schedule's very tight, but I'll let everybody know how to connect with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. 1 in 4 in home series.
Crazy. Nuts.
Yeah. Who would have thought? And both of these 2 teams, even though they got there in different orders, you lay out their SEC schedule and series results. Both of them, neither one of them got swept. One of only 4 teams that didn't get swept. They had 2 sweeps at 3-0, and then 6 series of losing 2 games to 1. Both of them exactly the same in how they got to the 16 and 14. But you can hit me up on all the socials, same handle, Vince Sports, VINCE Sports.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Vince.
Great stuff.
Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of the week.
All right, let's get that break in. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
Plenty of sunshine expected for this Wednesday across the Tennessee Valley. High temperatures warming into the upper 70s for the afternoon. Will remain quiet for our Wednesday night. Lows falling into the low 60s. Mostly sunshine expected for Thursday. Isolated showers a possibility in the afternoon. High temperatures warming into the upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details. 1 in 3 adults in America have pre-diabetes, but most don't know it. To let people know it can be reversed before it becomes type 2 diabetes, professional basketball player Julius Randle is doing everything in reverse.
I'm only dunking with reverse windmills. I drove the whole way to practice in reverse. I don't recommend it. This move's called the reverse shuffle. I do recommend it. And it took me months to learn how to speak in reverse, like this. Here's 10 almost for diabetes type 2 with living Ben has mom my. In other words, my mom has been living with type 2 diabetes for almost 10 years. So together, we want to say to the 84 million Americans at risk, exercise and healthy eating can help reverse prediabetes. Start by taking a simple 1-minute risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Bet he can't say that in reverse.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer again. Baumhauer's Victory Grill is extremely proud to have recently received numerous awards, including being voted best wings in the state of Alabama. Other awards received include Best All-Around Restaurant, Best American Restaurant, #1 Sports Bar, Best Chef, Best Wings, and Best Dining Experience. Thank you for 43 legendary years, and we look forward to providing you an award-winning dining experience at every visit. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It just passed 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
In case you were dying to know. The NFL owners have unanimously approved
Here we go.
that active players can participate in the 2028 LA Olympics for the flag football squad.
Well, there's already been people, talking about maybe Travis Hunter playing both ways in it, I guess.
For flag football?
Yeah.
Anyway, they approved it. It was not a there was really not a doubt that it was not going to be approved, but it is paving the way. So now
that'll be about as exciting as watching the Pro Bowl. I'll be honest with you. The more exciting thing, I know Brandon's listening to this show. It'd be more exciting if, with only about 2 days of practice, they had the North-South All-Star game in football, and or just with or one of those, like if they start, like it's become a sanctioned sport in the AHSAA for ladies flag football.
Yes, it has.
If you had an all-star game and let Ace Austin play without ever having played and gave her 2 days of practice and let her whip the football around, that would be more exciting than watching flag football in the Olympics.
There's another one. Speaking of college football, there is a potential. And I mean, far as rivalries go, I mean, we have the Deep South's oldest rivalry. We got Auburn, Georgia. We lost the Alabama-Mississippi State one because of the schedules, but we still have, obviously Michigan, Ohio State. You got Navy, Army. You got a lot of rivalries going around. We may be losing the USC Notre Dame rivalry. Have you seen this story?
A little bit, but fill me in.
So USC wants to move the game potentially to earlier in the season. And because, number one, they don't know about the college football playoffs, the scheduling, and how that may go, whether it be 16 teams, 12 teams, whatever. They only want to sign a 1-year deal for this. Notre Dame wants to sign a long-term contract. They want to keep playing the series, but USC only wants a 1-year deal because they want to see how the landscape of college football is going to play out. It's in jeopardy. We're in jeopardy of losing the USC Notre Dame rivalry.
Well, let me just talk in code right there. USC is just afraid they're going to get the hell beat out of them by too many Big Ten teams and just be another L on their schedule.
Yeah, and they're concerned about travel. USC is, because of the Big Ten travel.
They joined the Big Ten. They should have already been concerned about travel, you bunch of clowns. You just don't want to play because right now Notre Dame's good, even though we just need 4 more years. This is not about the President of the United States. This is 4 more years.
Yeah, they've expressed reluctance to enter a long-term deal due to the uncertainty of the future of the college football playoff format. And while assessing the demand,
they're going to get their ass beat because Notre Dame's good right now under Marcus Freeman. But what do I mean by 4 more years? What are we 4 more years away from, Scott?
I don't know.
40 years since Notre Dame won a national championship.
But USC wants to assess the demands of greater travel as a member of the Big Ten.
I mean, I can't say it on the radio what I want. I've said it once, and I almost got suspended. But I mean, this is like that dang that Martin Lawrence bit on House Party, man, when he was like, "What do I smell? What do I smell? The bird. That's what I smell." And that's what
the series began in 1936, by the way.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a while.
It's been a storied rivalry,
Right.
even though, Notre Dame's never been in a conference. USC was always in the Pac-12, Pac whatever. Now it's the
Pac-8.
Now it's in the Big Ten.
In the Pac-12. In the Big Ten.
To me, you ought to continue to play it. You're the ones that decided to chase the money in the Big Ten. You're supposed to be USC. You're paying Lincoln Sharman $12 million a year to be one of the best teams in the country. And right now you're going 7-5 all the time. But to me, that's just your yellow.
Well, you want to talk about a team that has expectations this year. USC would be that team, right?
I don't know why.
Oh, I mean, because just exactly what you said. They're paying Lincoln Riley to win. He comes from Oklahoma. He produced some Heisman moments there. He produced some quarterbacks that had some numbers. We believe he
didn't even want to go to the SEC.
That's the problem.
That's why he left Oklahoma, and then he got shoved into the Big Ten, and he's not doing much better. He left the Big 12, who's allergic to physicality, and thought he was going to the Pac-12 that was even more allergic to physicality, and now he ends up in the Big Ten, and he's getting his ass whooped.
Who do you think can get to their conference championship game first, Oklahoma or USC?
You would think it'd be USC because the Big Ten's more top heavy. It's not exactly as deep as the SEC, but I don't know. I'm just not a big believer in Lincoln Riley. I don't think, it was getting worse at Oklahoma. It wasn't getting better. And then you see what Brent Venables thing kind of reminds me of when Will Muschamp took over for Meyer. And we saw, and even later on, Coach Muschamp went on record saying what a train wreck it was that he took over.
Right.
Because, hellfire. It was like, bad boys, what you going to do? What you going to do when they come for you? That's basically the program he had left over there at Florida. The off-the-field issues were plentiful, let's just say. You know what I'm saying? There was no discipline in the program. And the character of the players has never been a staple of an Urban Meyer program.
I'm looking at Venables 6-7, 10-3, 6-7.
Yeah, and I was told the core of that program, the culture was not strong for
Brent Venables
upon arrival. Upon arrival of taking over for Lincoln Sharman. Riley.
So if Venables goes 6-7 or 7 and whatever this year,
he's fired.
He's done.
Gone. Mm-hmm. He gone. So
where would that Oklahoma job be?
Oh, it would still be very, very attractive, especially in the SEC and with their history and their commitment to winning, and then a longtime athletic director, Joe Castiglione, and they've had a track record of success since they hired Bob Stoops. So it would still be very, very
attractive job.
Very, very attractive, yes.
All right, 8:43 on a Wednesday morning. What do you say we get one more break in here? When we come back, the NCAA is getting out of one business. We'll explain it all when we return. We got a lot of stuff to get through. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison. Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
This is Steve Moulton for Tellini's Italiano. Tellini's Italiano is located right in front of the Walmart, right off of University, behind the McDonald's. More or less catty corner from Topgolf. It's one of my favorite places to go to, and if you go there, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you need to try the baked spaghetti, add a meatball. Also try the baked ziti with meat sauce, add sausage. You'll thank me. Save room for some pizzas and paninis as well. And don't forget about dessert as well. The best cheesecake I have had here in North Alabama is at Tellini's Italiano. Find out for yourself today. That's Tellini's Italiano, right off of University Drive in front of the Walmart. Located online at Tellinis.com. That's TELLINIS.com. Let's get some Tellini's tonight.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
You've been paying on that life insurance policy for years, but maybe you don't really need it anymore, or it's gotten a bit too expensive. Well, before you just let it expire, let Neighbors Insurance Solutions share with you some alternatives that you haven't considered. Don't throw away something that still may have great value for you. If you want to learn more about what Neighbors Insurance Solutions can do for you, call 256-763-7693. A death benefit could be a life benefit. Learn more at 256-763-7693.
This spring, bloom into savings at Owen Home Appliance Center with a new shipment of scratch and dent items at the Somerville location, like a side-by-side refrigerator with water and ice, just $6.99. Or head to the highly interactive location in Lacey Springs to get the latest in appliance tech. It's garden and grilling season, so you're going to need that 21 cubic foot upright frost-free freezer for just $7.99 at Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service only at Owen Home Appliance Center, Somerville and Lacey Springs.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So I mentioned the NCAA. I mentioned this a little bit ago.
You have to.
So yeah, I do because Charlie Baker yesterday confirmed they were meeting yesterday.
Yep.
They were meeting yesterday as an event run by the Night Commission in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlie Baker did confirm yesterday that the NCAA is going to get out of the business of governing conferences as far as revenue sharpening cap, scrutiny of the NIL, name, image, and likeness, and collective deals. They're going to get out of that enforcement part of it. They are going to turn that over to the conferences. So as far as NIL enforcement goes, as far as amateurism goes, all that kind of stuff, they're going to give that to the conferences. The only thing the NCAA is going to enforce, they're going to enforce your GPAs. They're going to enforce all that kind of other stuff. But as far as NIL, as far as all this, they're getting out of the business of enforcing it.
So it's now just Operation Pencil Neck.
It's because of the House settlement. If the House settlement passes, like we were talking the other day, the conferences, the SEC, the Big Ten, the ACC, these groups, they're going to be the ones to enforce NIL. They're going to be the ones to enforce all of this. The
CSC, right?
Yes. They're going to be the ones. Yep. They're going to be the ones to enforce this. The NCAA is going to enforce all the stuff that, that they would do as far as like the grades and anything like that.
Yep. Well, here we go. I mean, it probably needs to happen. The NCAA was already neutered, just neuter them some more. But speaking of the NCAA and college baseball,
sports betting, in-game sports rules, sports betting, and academic eligibility is what the NCAA will enforce.
Yeah, well, they were not doing a very good job at times. But we have done a very good job here of giving you the SEC baseball tournament. We will have day 2 in its entirety. We are hoping and praying for no rain this time. And as we said to start off the show, Mississippi State, Texas A&M didn't happen last night. Will happen this morning. Alabama, Tennessee will be your, as Scott said, to be determined, but around lunchtime matchup.
1 o'clock. Yeah, as we mentioned, they're not going to take a break.
Nope.
They're not going to be that long 35-minute break or anything like that. Once Texas A&M Mississippi State finishes, it's going to be like travel ball. There's going to usher a team out there on the field, chalk the lines, and go.
Yep.
That's what they're going to do. So don't forget, Auburn will play tomorrow
at 11
a.m. Yeah. If you look at the SEC site, still says they're playing at 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's Baghdad Bobbed over there. But they will get the winner of Mississippi State and Texas A&M. The game this morning will play Auburn tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. And as we said, that would just add a game tomorrow. And then they will roll one over. LSU will play. They will play. They would roll one over. They would play 3, on Thursday instead of the 2, and then they'll play 2 on Friday. Would not affect LSU. LSU will not play until Friday. And as we said, the other games today: Alabama, Tennessee, around 1 o'clock. We're hoping we don't need a 15-inning game. And then, as we know, Oklahoma is going to take on Georgia, the Steve Moultons. And then Florida will take on Ole Miss in the last game of the day. And so far, really, the brackets have held. No big time upsets. And we hope, though, that we'll have our first today as Alabama takes out Tennessee. But we'll see.
I'm laughing because SMU football.
What did they do this?
They tweeted out a tweet, and it says, I quote. You ready for this? And then I made sure this is not a parody account.
Okay, got ya.
SMU football put out a tweet, says, getting it done in the classroom. Mm-hmm. This semester marks the highest full semester GPA in program history.
That's great.
2.95.
2.95. I wonder what the Pony Express was.
It's their highest GPA in a full semester in program history, 2.95. What does that say about the other semesters?
All I know is that they were like Wofford the sequel. They had no business being in the playoff. Give me a break.
The highest GPA in program history, 2.95.
You still don't have any power, so you have.
I do not have power. My wife.
You're eating a banana, and our producer's over here eating like a high on the hog in here.
I text my wife and I said, "Do we have power?" A little bit ago, she says, "No, we still do not have power." We lost it around 6:45 last night. We do not have it right now. Apparently, there's some utility guys or something working out in the front of the house. Maybe they're still working on the gas lines. I don't know. So she's going to go out and talk to them and see what's going on. But we do not have power yet.
Stinks.
I don't know if anybody else does or not. I don't know.
I haven't been back to my place. I'm not. The dog sitting is now in the rear view mirror, so I can go.
You're done. Oh, so you go back to your pal. Your thing.
No, I don't have another second alarm or third alarm clock. So it was hey man, I'm just thanking the good Lord, no damage to my buddy's house. The dogs are fine. They'll be back at noon today after their excursion to Orange Beach as a family. Glad they had a great time. But another chapter for the book, man.
Are you done with dogs for now? Have you had your fill of puppies?
I mean, look, this is a nice side hustle. If he goes out of town again, I certainly will help if I can.
Right,
But,
right.
You know, and now I have a better understanding with Insane Asylum, and we kind of, AKA CODA. So we seem to have a much better give and take, you know. So it was a good few days, a little bit different, staying out in harvest, and just thank the Lord, and prayers to anybody that was affected by these storms. We've already seen some stuff on Old Madison Pike, some houses. Man, this is horrible. I hope everyone's okay. I know there's some scary stuff going on in Florence as well, and in Huntsville. And like you said, you have no power. Hopefully, folks, I know there was 15,000 at one time in Athens. Hopefully, everyone getting that restored today.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if there is anybody else around town that does not have power. I assume there is. I don't know, but we'll have to figure this out because
a short blitz, about 15 minutes Tuesday.
No, hey, the Braves got tripped up yesterday.
Yeah, Strider's got a ways to go. Only about 4 2/3 innings. They lost 5-3 to the sorry ass Nats. But it's a long baseball season. Oh, they can bounce back today.
Reinforcements are on their way.
Yeah, they certainly are. Ronald Acuna soon. I mean, we'll see if he's back in short order. And so he would be a big impact on the Braves' everyday lineup, as you would expect.
We'll be back at it tomorrow morning.
Maybe some Craig Kimbrell, too.
Final day of the week for us tomorrow.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying roll tide and war eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Tellurides, and popular cars.